Out here at the Auctions America Park, Scottie D Travel and Charity Roadshow show, and I got a 39 Ford that street rotted. Very nice car, Marv owns, and it's got a Cobra motor in it, so how cool is that? But anyways, let me get the car rundown. We'll take a look at it. Marv, how are you, brother?
I am doing fine today, Scotty. How about you?
Not too bad. Actually, outstanding. We got a great show going on here, don't you think?
It's unbelievable attendance for the first year here. Right. Weather couldn't be more perfect.
Sure.
It's really a delight here for Auburn.
Good, good. Tell me a little bit about this hot rod you brought.
Well, it's a 1939 Ford Deluxe convertible. It's an all-steel Henry Ford car. The quite a few modifications. I love the fat fendered Fords, but I've never been able to look at them without thinking they couldn't have been improved upon just a little bit.
Right.
And so with that, we made a lot of modifications. The vertical height on the fat fender Fords I thought were always too high compared to the roof line. And so we started at the front of the hood and took 1.75" out of the hood and kept tapering down to the time we got to the center line of the rear axle. We were down to 0. Laid the windshield back and
wait, let me slow you down here, because sometimes things are hard for me to process, Marv.
Yes.
You started your cut in the front of this car, and you ran your cut all the way to the back of the car.
Yes.
To continuous, just kind of shrunk the car down to some of
just kind of tapering in a little bit from 1.75" on the front of the hood till by the time we got to the center line of the rear axle, we had taken nothing out of the vertical profile of the car.
So it was really just kind of like a clamshell.
Yes.
And you kind of clamshelled it by 3/4 of an inch, but the whole car you did that. Most of it all the way to the center line of the rear axles.
Correct.
Did you do anything with the window? Or is it all just done right there?
Well, you had to go through.
And
right. I mean, you had to continue through.
That's why I was being straight, because I was like, well, let me get this right. You know what I'm saying? Because basically you clamshell the car from, say the center axle was the hinge.
Yes.
And then the point is down here on the front of the bumper, and it's 3/4 of an inch.
Well, 1.75".
1.75". Holy smokes. Who did all this work?
Ben York of Roseville Rod and Custom. They're out of Roseville, California. He's the nephew of my best friend who lives in California. Just masters at metalwork. And they're the ones that took my sketches and my creations and my ideas and made it happen.
So you just sent them like a book of notes thinking, this is what we need to, this is what I think needs to be changed to the car. And,
right.
And they came up with how we need to do that.
Yes.
Probably came to you and said, you know, you probably don't want to do it that much or a little less.
Well, you know, it was a good collaborative effort. The section, most of the items that are on the car here, I had already played with. Like on the 39 and 40s, the only two sharp angles in the whole car were the top of the door where it meets the A-pillar and the bottom of the doors. We rounded those and added this little kick up so that everything just kind of flows now. There are no straight lines. Redid the entire A and B pillar, stepped it back like a modern car so I could use weather stripping on the car to seal tight. If you ever sat in an original 39, you could actually put your hand through the bottom of the door and touch the running board. There was that much gap. And
wow.
we've eliminated all of that.
They were fair weather cars for sure.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Oh, kidding.
Yes.
Man, that's beautiful. What color is it?
It's PPG has a number of collections, they call them. This is out of their Vibrance collection, but the color is actually called Cabernet. It's their version of candy apple red.
That is beautiful. I love how it almost turns black underneath these lights, you know? That is just gorgeous.
Most candies are shot over a gold or silver base.
Right.
This probably sounds funny, but that just popped the paint too much. I mean, it was too much in your face. I wanted to create kind of a timeless classic with this street rod. And the painter was the one that suggested, why don't we shoot that candy over a red base? I must admit I was a little skeptical, but man, when he was done, you know, of course, with each layer of candy, it gets just a little bit darker.
Right.
8 layers later, we had this deep, rich, kind of luxurious color.
Absolutely.
And I said, that fits the car.
You nailed it. I mean, because you talk classic, and that's a timeless color. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's instead of going a safety green or something that's cool today and dates a car, That's beautiful, man. And that's the thing with candies, is that you can play with that base coat.
Yes,
you know
absolutely.
You can actually put a design in the base coat, and it'll show through the candy, and it's all just by shading.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No,
right.
That is cool. Is it hard to open the doors? I can get a good view of that inside?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Man, that's a cool car, guys. Who did your interior?
Dave Putnam, again from California. The 30s were a big Art Deco era, and I'm on the Auburn Court Duesenberg Festival Committee, so I'm in the museum fairly regularly, and I love the Art Deco. I took the design from several pieces I liked the most and came up with a bright work on the door. The original gauge cluster is out of a 1936 Olds. We fabricated that into a 44 dash and used the original ribbed feature on the gauge housing to create these little filigrees that radiate out from the main gauge cluster, and then use the same design to create the tachometer on top and my heating and air conditioning vents down below.
Very well thought out. How long did you think about it? Had you wanted one a long time?
You know, I've been in street rods my whole life. The fat fendered Fords were always my favorite, and the 39 is my favorite of the fat fendered Fords. So I was sketching on this for 3 years before I ever found the parts. It was not a complete car.
Oh no?
No, the guy I bought it from actually got the body only on a set of rusted out frame rails. Wasn't even suspension, out of the basement of a building right here in Fort Wayne. And then for 30 years he collected parts to build the car back into a complete stock deluxe convertible.
Right.
Well, he was 93 years old when we bought the car, and realized
he got the last bolt, and then it was like, I don't have the energy to even screw it together.
He realized that he probably wasn't going to realize my dream, and I was very honest with him that I'm creating a street rod, but I said, you're not going to be able to tell unless you really, really focus the changes that I'm making. And so I showed him my sketches at that time and explained what my vision was, and there was this silence, and I thought, oh crap, he's not going to sell me these parts, you know. But then he looked at me and said, I'm not going to have my dream realized, but you might as well realize your dream.
Wow.
I mean, 93 years old. I was hoping that the car would be done so I could show him the end result, but unfortunately he died about less than a year after I had purchased the parts.
Did you keep him informed on how it was going? Yeah, but he was excited too.
Oh, he was. He was. My engine, I wanted to be a tribute to the old flathead. The flathead, original flathead, had dual water outlets coming out of the engine. The 4.6 liter Cobra motor had dual outlets originally, but it teed into a single. Well, we said, well, let's just keep the dual.
Right.
Modified the radiator to accept the dual inlets. My wire loom is from the flathead. My coil packs are mounted behind the dash, and to hide my throttle body and air cleaner, we fabricated out of a flat piece of metal what appears to be an original oil bath air
Nobody would think of that. Because, yeah, I mean, you got, technically what you've got there is you got an air cleaner sitting on top of your supercharger, which you don't ever see that. No. But yeah, I see what you did. You tried to just like downplay the supercharger. Because when you pull it up, you look at it and you're like, hey, okay, and, you know, no, cool idea. Now, what'd you do with these valve covers to make it look like a Hemi?
Well, it's dual overhead cam. I've got 2 cams on either side, and that Mustang Cobra engine looks like a Hemi because the spark plugs go down through the 2 cams.
Oh, okay.
So if you look,
so that's the way it was. These are much nicer, I know.
Well, they are. Yes.
But it was originally a regular Cobra motor would look like that. I just never noticed that.
Yeah.
I've seen a few.
Well, I mean, it's been highly modified. The original Cobra motor's got the ugly alternator sitting right smack dab in the center on top, and that draws your attention. Well, I didn't want that at all.
No.
So we relocated that down further into the engine compartment. But so yeah, I wanted the flathead to be a tribute for this car, and even though I wanted modern running gear, I wanted to say thanks for starting the hot rod craze, and
No, that's cool. I mean, yeah, you just you kept as much of that traditional look to it as you could, by yet living out your whatever boyhood fantasy of having this hot rod.
Yep.
But yet, you know what I'm saying, there was something in you that was just like, no, I mean, I won't change it too much because I like the car.
Right.
Right. You know, but yet I always wanted to change it a little.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And of course, then what you put under the hood, that's awesome. Marv, awesome car. Anybody else we need to give a shout out before we run?
I think a thanks to Tim and John for all their hard work and effort in putting the show on this weekend.
Sure
they've done such a great job. And Scotty, to you for being here and allowing people to show their dreams here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm the most blessed guy walking here with, man. Marv, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.